Hi everyone, I'm Janice Nightingale from Nightingale Properties in association with Keller Williams Advance. I'm really happy to be here on the show Gold, and let's go for it. Hopefully I can make a difference in your lives. I was born and bred in Benoni, and from a very modest family. We were by no means rich, but my parents made sure that my brother and I always had what we needed. The biggest challenge I had was always trying to impress my father. He was a very, very strict man, and I was always trying to win his love. And it took a long time for me to realize that he wasn't strict because he didn't love me. He was actually very strict because he did love me. And as a parent, he was just doing the best he could at the time. No, not really. My parents just wanted me to be happy. But I must say that when I told them that I was going to quit my steady paying job as a secretary to go into the financial services industry to a commission-based income, my father was not happy. He told me I would never make it, and he wasn't happy with that. But had I not made that decision, I would still probably be a secretary earning a meager salary, whereas now I don't have a boss and I don't have a ceiling on my income. I decided at the age of 46 that I was going to change careers. I was in the financial services industry, and I decided that wasn't the place I wanted to be. So I quit, and being in the financial services industry, I knew property was a good decision. So I wanted to become a property investor, but I knew nothing about property. So I thought, okay, so the only way I'm going to learn about property is to become an estate agent. So I did a bit of research, picked an estate agency, went to one of them and said, please hire me. And they said, okay. And I started working as an estate agent. I was very unhappy for the first year, and I thought, okay, what have I done? Do I now change careers again? And very fortunate, very lucky for me, Keller Williams found me, and that just turned my whole career upside down, and I just flourished from there. And as it turns out, I've never become a property investor. I've stayed an estate agent or a professional property practitioner, as we are now known. And I've just loved every minute of it. It's now become my passion. I've built my business, and I just love it. So now I can be a property practitioner as well as an investor. A property investor is somebody that will invest in, there's actually two parts to that. A property investor can be somebody that invests in actual buildings, property units. It can be residential, or it can be industrial. And they get tenants, they become landlords, they receive an income from that. Or they can actually go and invest on the stock market as a property investor that way. Locally, even internationally on the DAX or in the US. So that's what a property investor is. An estate agent or property practitioner is we sell or rent out properties. But like I said, as an agent, I can also be an investor. An investor can also be an agent, vice versa. But they are completely different industries, if you know what I'm saying. At the age of 46, I had no doubt that I was to change careers. Yes, I was a bit afraid, but I did my research. And to me, the scariest thing is staying in one place and being unhappy. So you do your research, you put a plan together, you set your goals, you take a deep breath, and you do it. What's the worst that can happen? If it doesn't work, go back to your previous, you've got a CV, go back to your previous thing, your career, and go get your old job back. The thing is, if you don't take that leap, you'll never know what could have happened. And I'm not saying just take the leap. Put a plan in place, put your goals in place. But don't not dream and wish. Just do it. Just do it. Because you'll never know what could have been. If I hadn't done that, I wouldn't be free. I wouldn't be happy. You've got to be true to yourself. And yes, I started out wanting to be a property investor. I love being an agent. I love it. I love what I do. I love making a difference. I would never have known that. I would never have my own business. I'd be a secretary. You've got the normal business challenges, but the main things that you get in this industry is interest rates that go up. People say that the property market is bad. I don't look at things like that. Whether it's a bad market or a good market, it's just a market. You've still got to go out there and sell properties. And if you wake up in the morning and you go, oh, it's a bad market, that makes it harder for you to go out there and do what you need to do. It's just a market. If it's a buyer's market or a seller's market, you just change your strategy on how you're going to go out there and do what you've got to do. When the interest rates, for example, now the interest rates are climbing now, but they're still lower than they were pre-COVID. So people are going, oh, nobody's going to want to buy houses because the interest rate is so high. It's still lower than it was pre-COVID. So I don't look at challenges negatively. It is what it is. And there are issues. There some in a buyer's market, a seller's market. I just look past that. Getting commissions, being a commission-based business, that can be challenging. But then you've got to plan for that. You've got to put money aside for, the real estate industry is also very seasonal. December and January are generally very quiet months. I don't find that because I don't have that mindset. Now I'm getting properties in or making sales now for December's income. Because as an estate agent, we only get paid after the property has registered. So I need to work now for my December income. So you've got a plan like that. So yes, there are those types of challenges, but you've got a plan for them. My business is always going to be my number one priority, whether it's now, 5 years, or 10 years. That's always going to be. Although, having said that, I also want to incorporate in my business. When I got ovarian cancer, I knew at that time that I had a calling to help cancer patients. So that is something that's very close to my heart. That is something I want to do. And animals are very, very important to me. So that's another thing I want to get involved in. So those I'd say are, now 5 years and 10 years. Those are projects I'd like to incorporate. Success to me is not being rich. You see a lot of people driving these fancy cars and these big houses. It doesn't mean they're rich. That means they're living on debt. To me, that's not wealth. Success to me is, number one, having your health. Without having your health, you've got nothing. Without having a relationship with God, without having your relationship with your family. And when it comes to your business and investments and things like that, for me, success is having assets that are generating an income for you, or your business that's generating an income for you, so that you don't have to work. You don't have to work. You work because you want to work to make a difference in other people's lives. That is why you're working, is to make a difference. And again, people think that being successful is being a millionaire. It's not necessarily. Being a successful person may only mean making a million rand a year. When is enough for one person may be a million rand a year. Enough for another person may only be 500,000. It's different for everyone. But you've got those aspects: health, relationship with God, your family, or your business or your assets that's generating an income for you, maybe of 500,000 rand a year or a million, but you don't have to work for it. You're working because you want to make a difference. You've got an income that's being generated that takes care of that. If you get sick, your assets are earning for you, but you're making a difference. You can contribute, that's what success is to me. You're not on that hamster wheel racing around like a crazy person. You can stop and smell the roses, and you can make a difference. Whether you want 500,000 rand or a million. Does that make sense? There's 2 books I'd like to recommend. The first one is The One Thing, written by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. And the other book is The Wealth Chef by Ann Wilson. So The One Thing, written by Gary Keller, he's actually the founder of Keller Williams, focuses on the Pareto principle, where if you do that 20%, you focus on 20%, you get 80% of, no, you see, I'm saying it wrong again. The turning point in my life was 1997, when my ex-husband left me in Malaysia. So I was in a foreign country, and I had no idea what to do. I had gone from my father's home into my husband's home, and I had no idea what to do. My knight in shining armor had just left me. So I had no idea. It was the first time I had even flown, even though we had traveled around the world, it was the first time I'd ever climbed onto an aeroplane on my own. And I got onto the plane, flew back to South Africa. I didn't know how to get a cell phone. I had no idea how to rent a property. I was totally lost, and I was nearly 30 years old. So that was a big turning point in my life, where I realized nobody was coming to help me. I needed to now stand on my own 2 feet. So that was a big turning point in my life. It was a very big shock. Nobody was coming. And I had to learn myself. And that was the beginning of me becoming self-sufficient, taking responsibility for myself, and becoming independent. And it was at that point I decided, no, I would never ever rely on anybody again, because nobody was coming. I needed to take responsibility for myself, for my health, for my wealth, for every aspect of my life. Gold people, anybody watching, nobody is coming. Whatever situation you are in, if you are waiting for that knight in shining armor to come and save you from your financial problems, your love life, your health issues, your weight issues, nobody is coming. There's only one person you can trust, and that is yourself. And you have to take responsibility for that. You have to. Nobody knows you like you do. And that's also why don't ever let anybody tell you what you can or what you can't do. Nobody knows you like you. So don't let anybody tell you what you can or can't do. Take responsibility and know that nobody is coming for.
Yeah. Take responsibility. 3, 2, 1, action.
Gold viewers, I'm just telling you, nobody is coming. There is no knight in shining armor that is coming to rescue you. Not in your love life, not in your financial life, not in your business. Nobody is coming. The only knight in shining armor that's coming is you. You are the responsible one, and only you can save yourself. You need to take responsibility for every aspect. No blaming, no blame games. You take responsibility for your failures and your successes. And the failures are also wins. As long as you look at them and you learn from them. Because you will fail, but fail forward. Millennials are very savvy. They love life. They love they know how to take care of their finances. They love to be healthy. And they are living in a perfect world right now in terms of, in my time, we didn't even have computers. We didn't have cell phones. So the world is their oyster right now. If they put their minds to it, with everything that they have, the internet, everything, they can go, they just got to go for it. They have to go for their dreams. With everything, if you want to invest, for example, I know I keep on going back to investing, but you can invest on the American markets in property. You can invest in the UK. If you just want to get training or learn, you just need to go on Google and learn and watch different parts of the world. We never had that. So the way that they can expand their knowledge and their businesses, they can learn, they can create, they can dream. They must dream big. And they must just 10x their dreams because they can, because the world is their oyster now with the internet and all of that. So my advice to them is just dream and 10x it. Put a plan in place and do it. Go for it. Love and appreciate life. I've come close to death numerous times, and committing suicide, and that it's not the answer. It may feel like it, but it's not the answer. God always gives us another day. It's a new day tomorrow, and there's always a way out. There is always. It just seems very dark right now, but tomorrow's a new day. And there are always people and help and resources out there of people that really care and love. You just need to reach out. Your life is worth so much. And even if you think people don't love you, there are people that really do love you. And to be blunt, killing yourself, committing suicide is very selfish because there are people that love you and you're going to destroy their lives. And I've had friends that have committed suicide, and it's devastating for those that you leave behind. It's not fair. It's not fair to us. Think it through. It's not worth it. It's difficult when you're in that space to think it through, but just think with your heart on what you're going to do to the people that you leave behind. And if you think with your head, there's always a way. Always. What I love going on in the world right now is the fact that you can sit at your computer, go on Google or YouTube, and you've got access to information, to anything that you want, whether it's training courses or spiritual, or it is just amazing to me that you can just learn so much. I'm a very big believer in personal growth, and you've just got access to courses and information worldwide, to news bulletins, it just amazes me. Like I said, in my day, we had to rely on newspapers, and there was no computers or anything like that. And by a touch of a button, you can invest, like I said, in property in the US. Talking about being a property investor, as I say, in the UK, you can earn you can be a landlord in the UK or wherever you want to. You can get a degree in America. It just opens up a whole new world. And I just find that amazing. You could, like I said, you can do, to the millennials, you can be whatever you want. The world's your oyster. And I think the internet gives that us, and I think that's very positive. My favorite quotes are, number 1, it is what it is. Number 2, just give it to God. And number 3, what you focus on expands. So how I use it in my life, I use this one a lot. It is what it is. Because if you can't change something, it is what it is. Just work with it. It's no point stressing, or just work with it. So that's the first one. The second one, just give it to God. And that fits in with the first one. There's a situation that you cannot change or that you're upset about. Just give it to God. He's got a plan. And I learned that with cancer as well. When you are so sick and there's nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. Just give it to God. And the relief of that, when you just give it to God, the relief and the stress that just gets lifted is amazing. And just really try that, because that really just takes a burden off your shoulders. And the third one, what you focus on expands. And this is really true. If you focus on negative things, you will attract negative things. If you focus on positive things will happen in your life. And that is really the truth. And if you try that, you will see it really, really works. I mean, the law of attraction, whatever it is, what you focus on expands. My third quote that I say is, what you focus on expands. And this is very true. What you focus on, for example, if you are focusing on negativity all the time, you will notice and you will find that negativity is in your life all the time. If you focus on what is positive, then positive things will happen all the time. It's like when you want to buy a new car, you want to buy a Mercedes, for example. You will notice all of these Mercedes in front of you all the time, because that's what you're focusing on. And it's the same principle. If you focus on positivity, positivity is in your life. If you focus on negative things, you'll find that there's negative things that are in your life. I take a time out No phone calls, no WhatsApps, no emails. I just take a time out. And what I do at that time, it really depends on what the situation is. I will very often just go and sit outside at my patio, maybe with a glass of wine. I may take a time out just to think. I may need to plan or strategize, or I will play with my dogs, read a book. And if it's cold outside, I may just come and binge watch a series. But it is time out from the world. It's just myself and my doggies, and it's relaxing. But it will be a short time out, and then the next day, I'm now ready to face whatever I need to face. My advice to viewers of gold is to go somewhere quiet and pray. Pray to God and sit quietly and see what comes to mind, what comes to your heart. And ask yourself some questions. What would I want to do? Again, if I were to die tomorrow, or if a very good one is if you write a eulogy to yourself, what would... No, I want to start that again.
All right. Let's go. 3, 2. Do you have it, or we can skip it and come back to it later? Let's skip it. Let's go to the 4. Because
Okay.
you're already prepared for that.
Okay.
4 major keywords to success. If you are to summarize everything you've been saying since morning, and for somebody who wants to be successful in life, 4 major keys based on you, because some people might share the same idea with you. So what are the 4 major keys of success? How do you want people to go from step 1, 2, 3, 4 and make their life better?
It would be God.
Yeah. My 4 major, let's start the question.
Okay.
My 4 major keys to success are: 1, God. And
Okay.
then you understand.
Okay.
And just the way you explained for the book, you have to explain it just a little bit too. When you say God, why God? Because God is the ultimate power and blah, blah, blah. Just a little bit,
Okay.
and then you move to the second one again.
Okay.
Do you get it?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. My 4 major keys to success. Action.
My 4 major keys to success. Number 1 is God. Without God, there is nothing. Number 2 is your health. No matter how rich you are, without your health, you are nothing. You can do nothing. Health is vitally important. Number 3 is family. Family, unconditional love. Number 4 is business. And if you've got those first 3 things in place, business falls into place. Because you've got the support of the first 3. The inspirational story I'd like to share with the viewers of Gold is a personal one. And this, I hope, will make a difference to somebody. Do not let anybody tell you that you're going to die, or don't always listen to your doctors. In 2017, I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer. The doctor told me, this is going to kill you. I said, no, it's not. Later on in that year, my mother was diagnosed with dementia. They told her that I would never get my mother back. She went on to some medication. I got my mother back. A few months later, we both got swine flu. Later on that year, my bladder ruptured because of the chemo. While I was getting in the ICU, after my bladder ruptured, they discovered I had a tumor on my brain. They told me that was going to kill me. I said, no, it's not. In 2018, they did gamma knife radiation. Later on in 2018, my tumor doubled in size. I then went for a second opinion because they said to me, the tumour is I'm going to drop dead at any moment. Don't forget that. I'm going to drop dead at any moment. I went for a second opinion. The neurosurgeon then said to me that the tumour has to come out surgically. Gamma knife radiation should never have been done. And what's more, those doctors had radiated in the wrong place. 2019, the neurosurgeon removed most of the tumour. September last year, 2021, they discovered I have radiation damage on my brain because of the gamma knife radiation that was done, that shouldn't have been done and was done in the wrong place. So my point I'm making is I did not die from ovarian cancer. I did not drop dead from the brain tumour. If they had radiated again, I probably would have brain damage if they had radiated again. Also, in the beginning of this year, with the radiation damage, I couldn't speak. I had no memory. I was speaking gibberish, and they said most likely I would be like that permanently. I refuse to believe that. I still battle at times to speak, but on the whole, I don't think I'm doing too badly. I was booked off for most of the year. I went back to work in January and I battled to speak. But I went to Sellers and I said, look, this is the situation. I do have radiation damage on my brain. I'm very good at what I do. I can prove I've got testimonials. I've been in the top in the country. I'm very good at what I do. But I just can't always speak very well. So you either want to work with me or I can refer you to one of my colleagues. And I had sellers that wanted to work with me and some that didn't. And the more I worked, the better my speech came back. So what I want to say is don't ever give up. It was embarrassing when I started in January. But now I'm building my business up again. I'm speaking. Do not listen to doctors that go for a second opinion. Don't let them tell you that you're going to die. I was told that how many times? I'm not dead. You got to fight. It's your mindset. Because when you're told you're going to die, you can curl up in a ball and say, why me? Or you can jump up and say, why not me? The problem's still there. Either way, the cancer is still there. Whether you curl up or you jump up. It's just how you deal with it. It's your mindset. Nobody knows your body like you. Just jump up and fight. Don't listen to doctors, listen to you. Just stand up and fight. That's my inspirational story. It's about what's here. My wish for gold is that you continue encourage and motivating people, because there's so much negativity in the world that this is just an awesome thing that you're doing. I just hope that you continue to do that. It's just awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So let's.
I was worried about the dog barking.
Okay, let's retake the gold one. Your wish for gold.
My wish for gold is that you continue to do what you are doing, because there's so much negativity in the world and it's so easy for people to fall into the negativity trap. And a lot of people need to be motivated and inspired, and a lot of people don't know how. So what you are doing is very, very important, and I want gold to continue doing what you are doing. It's very important. I'm Janice Nightingale from Nightingale Properties in association with Keller Williams Advance. Keep watching gold. I'm Janice Nightingale from Nightingale Properties in association with Keller Williams Advance. Catch me on gold this week. I'm Janice Nightingale from Nightingale Properties in association with Keller Williams Advance. Catch me on gold this week.
Amazing. The next one, go for gold.
Go for gold. I'm Janice Nightingale from Nightingale Properties. Keep watching gold with King Nee. I know of somebody who has gone through hard times, my friend Dominique. She has had a very hard life, yet she is bubbly and positive. She runs her own business. She manages charities. She has been Mrs. Krugersdorp. She bounces with energy. And even now, right now, she's going through a bad, not a nice divorce. But is always smiling, always helping others. She is an inspiration. In order for you to be successful in business, you've got to know that you're going to make decisions that are failures. You've got to know that you're going to have successes, you're going to have failures. As long as you plan, set your goals, plan as best as you can, and don't ever give up. And start with the end in mind when you do your goal setting. So what do you need to achieve at the end of the year, in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time? So for example, your goal for the end of the year, write it down and then break it down on what you need to do to achieve that in months, in a week. So what do you need to achieve daily? What do I need to do today that'll make, so you break it down. So you know what you need to do today to make your monthly goal, your weekly goal, your monthly goal, your yearly goal, your goal for 5 years, for 10 years. So you start with the end in mind and you just don't ever give up. Love life. Be grateful for everything, because what you have, so many people don't have. Just have a grateful heart and be true to yourself. I think that's one of the biggest things, is be true to who you are. Don't try and be somebody else. The best thing is God made you who you are. And trying to be somebody else, it takes too much effort. Be you. Be grateful. Live life. And tomorrow, start a new day. It's new beginnings. Every day, God gives us a new day. Live it. Live it and just smile and laugh. That's what life is for. There is so much negativity. Focus on the positive. Focus on the happy things, the flowers. I know it may sound like I'm airy-fairy in my head, but I've come close to death many, many times, and it makes you question things and look at things in a different perspective. And life is great. It's not the bad place everybody says it is. Just got to look and be grateful. I choose to put positive things in my head. And if more people just did that and focused on spreading positive things, but it's like watching an accident on the side of the road. Everybody stops to look. But if there's something happy going on, people will drive past. People naturally want to watch something negative or ugly, like an accident or something. Again, it's a mindset. Rather listen to a happy, positive podcast than the news. I choose to fill my head with positive stuff. There's enough negativity going on. I don't want to start my day like that. I don't want to fill my head with that stuff. How much nicer it is to start my day positively, and I don't need to know what's going on. I can't change it. I can't change the war. I can't change myself, what the politicians are doing. I don't need to know that if I can't change it. If I can change it, then I need to know. And I think a lot of people need to start thinking that way. If you can do something about it, it's different. If you can't, don't listen. Put something else in your head that you can do something about, that will change your life, that will make you happy. Because if you're happy, your family life is happy. You're not snapping at the kids. You're not snapping at your husband. Even your businesses will change. Your family life, everything changes. Be positive. Be grateful. For me, your values and morals need to be very good. I value honesty, integrity, and determination. And I believe that as a leader, you need to act. I can't remember how I put that now. You need to, how did I say that yesterday? Walk the talk, but that wasn't what I was going to say. Lead by example.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
So can we start again? 3, 2, 1, action.
As a leader, you've got to have very good morals and values. I value honesty, integrity, and dedication. And I believe as a leader, you need to walk the talk. You need to lead by example. You can't expect anybody to follow you if you haven't been there and done that. You can't expect your agents or whatever the case may be to do things, or to if you haven't been down there and done it yourself. And you have to empathize with them. Everybody is different. You need to understand. And like I said, lead by example.